He won it handily, and this is for the seat that has been occupied by Vern Ehlers for the better part of 20 years now, and actually they still call it sort of the Gerald Ford seat from all those years ago, and Justin Amash is up early this morning with us. Good morning, and congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Okay, so magicians aren't supposed to show their tricks, but how did you do that?
Well, we just worked very hard. I had a message of limited government, free market, individual liberty, full transparency that really resonated with the voters, and we took that message throughout the district, and that really made a difference.
When did you start to, well, first, when did the idea come to you that you should run for U.S. Congress, and why?
Probably last summer I started to think about it a little bit, and that's because I'm a state legislator, and noticed that you could get pretty far just by reading the bills, having a good knowledge of what you were working on, and being a well-respected person in the legislature.
And then when Congressman Ehlers decided to retire, it was a wide-open field, which made it very interesting. And were you at all, I don't want to use the word intimidated, but, I mean, you knew that you were going up against some people with some pretty good pedigree, huh?
Yeah, of course. I had some great challengers, but I was never intimidated. I thought that I had a great chance to win this if I just worked hard, stuck to my message, and went and met as many voters as possible.
Is that what you did? Did you do door knocking and that kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Went door to door, and didn't ignore the counties of Berry and Ionia. This is a 3-county race. It's Kent, Berry, and Ionia, and you got to get out there and meet people throughout the entire district.
How long would you like to stay in Congress?
Well, as long as I'm effective, and hopefully I'll be effective for several years at least, but I'll go and play it by ear. I don't have any set time.
Mm-hmm. Who are your political, first, also not only mentors but heroes? Mentors and heroes, I'd be curious to know.
Well, some of my real, heroes would be probably economists, not legislators or members of Congress. Economists like F.A. Hayek, who wrote The Road to Serfdom, and Henry Hazlitt and Frederick Bastiat and many other economists. But in Congress, I look at people like Paul Ryan, who are making a big difference right now in the party. He's a guy who was elected at age 28. He's now 40, and he's really taken a leadership role there. People like Ron Paul have had an influence on me. I mean, here's a guy who has stuck to his guns. We don't agree on everything, but he's a guy who's very principled and does what he believes.
Have you spent much time in Washington, D.C.?
No, not a lot. I've spent my time in the district here campaigning. I was out in D.C. for a couple days just to get a feel for what was going on, but I've spent most of my time here in the district.
Has it hit you yet, the magnitude of what you've accomplished at this age?
Maybe not, but it's starting to hit me. The first night when I won, I was really a little bit shocked by the whole thing, but felt I was going to win, but still, once you do it, it's still a shock to you, and I think it'll hit me soon.
Yeah, in fact, it might be premature because actually, after all, there is still a general election to get through, and so you've got a lot of work to go. But it's widely, conventional wisdom is that you'll win the general because that's such a conservative Republican area. But I am hearing that Pat Miles is probably a pretty good campaigner. What do you hear?
Yeah, I think Pat Miles is a great competitor. He's a person I've known for a long time. We actually used to work together at the Varnum Law Firm in Grand Rapids. And so I've known him for a long time. He's actually a friend. And I look forward to a good competitive general election. It's something I'm going to have to work very hard to do. But I know that if I work hard, we can come out on top.
What did you make of the result of the gubernatorial primary, the GOP primary?
I think it was a bit surprising, but because I don't think anyone expected that kind of margin for Rick Snyder. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think similar to my race, he brought a lot of new people into the process, a lot of people who hadn't traditionally voted in a Republican primary, and I think that made a huge difference for him.
Did you vote for Mike Cox?
I'm not going to say who I voted for, but I went in there and made the best decision I could.
Okay, well, let's keep in touch along the way, and congratulations. It's quite an accomplishment. And Bill Ballinger said to me about a week ago, he said, in 20 years, you'll hear about Justin Amash, and they'll be talking about him the way they talk about Vern Ehlers in terms of statesmanship.
Well, I hope so. Vern Ehlers is a guy I really look up to and admire, and he's had a long, distinguished career here, and it would be an honor to be remembered in the way Vern Ehlers is remembered.
Have you talked to him since you won the primary?
Yeah, we spent some time talking the past couple days, and he expressed his full support for my campaign, and I'm very honored by that. He was very gracious, and he's a guy I really respect and look forward to working with.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate the time so early this morning. Justin Amash now, who is the Republican candidate for Congress in the 3rd Congressional District. And we'll talk with